Michael, I'm going to open up to everybody. One of the things that we want to make sure we do is give Michael some information about what we think the community might need in terms of support, so that he can bring that back to his organization and see what else can be done besides what's already being done, or maybe even target it. Maybe it's more information, maybe it's more, but that's something that we're looking at, is how can we support this community. But I want to make sure that people understand. They always say and when the oxygen masks drop in an airplane, you put your own mask on first before you help your child. And I think that as leaders, it's really important for us to understand, how do we care for ourselves? How do we make sure as leaders we're all taking care of our own well-being? Because oftentimes we'll just go to the nth degree and then we burn out and are no help to anybody. What are the key things for your own personal well-being?
Yeah. Again, this will change from person to person, but so the key thing is to find what works for you. But some of the general things that we know works. One is keep a routine. So my routine got totally thrown up into the air when I started working from home and stopped going into the office. So I had to find a new routine so that my brain kind of knew what to expect when. I also have a dog, so it was important that my dog knew what to expect when. And kids also need to know what to expect when. So find a routine that works for you. Make sure that you keep meaningful activity in your life. So if you have hobbies, try to stay engaged in the hobbies. If you don't have hobbies, now would be a great time to learn a new one. And even if they're a bit frustrating at the beginning, it helps us later on. The other thing I've been saying all through this is the importance of getting outside and staying active. Keeping our bodies active, there's increasing evidence that shows that helps our mental health. So whether it's for a walk, a bike ride, again, maintaining the physical distancing that we need to, but staying active is really important. And then the other thing I would say is, if you notice that you're suffering emotionally, to reach out for help and to be that role model of someone who is trying to proactively take care of themselves. The response to this pandemic is a marathon. It's going to last probably months, maybe more than a year. And we can't run full out for that long as human beings. So if we approach this as a sprint, well, at least I would be flat out on the sidewalk somewhere, not able to do anything except breathe. So really think about, how do you measure your energy so that you're not expending all of it now, because we're going to have to keep this up for quite some time. And that includes things like making sure if you've got people on your team you can delegate to, do that. And if you've got a leadership team with you, make sure that that leadership team is as supportive as it can be, and that people are willing to do what's needed to be done, even if it's not necessarily their job, right? So that team becomes a team and is more than the individual and individual job descriptions on it.
One of the things I've always found so fascinating about how humans work is that the things that take care of us, we don't feel like doing them when we need to do them. Like we don't feel like exercising. That's exactly what we need to do. When we don't feel like, reaching out. One of the things that I'd like to add is, when you reach out to take care of someone else, that has a really beneficial effect. And sometimes if you don't feel comfortable saying that you're struggling, helping someone else can actually lift your spirits just as well. And sometimes that will help you to lead into saying, well, I'm actually struggling, or having that conversation. So that's a nice mental trick that you can do to just be able to take action. And, as a leader, I think that you feel that when you can take care of your staff, or when you make a difference for someone that you're working with, you can see that buoys your spirits as well. And I think that's one way to do that. Any other strategies before we move? Go ahead, Michael. What were you going to say?
Sorry, yeah, so just one more strategy, and your comment reminded me of it, and that's the importance of staying connected emotionally and socially connected to the people that are important to us. So I know that can be harder in this time when we have to maintain physical distancing, but finding ways to reach out to our friends and loved ones and family is so important, and again, does a world of good for our mental health.